If you think incest is disturbing, wait until you find out it was once considered sacred. In ancient Egypt, queens were married off to their own brothers, not in secret, but as royal law. It wasn't love. It wasn't choice. It was bloodline preservation, a divine mandate. And the women caught in this royal trap. They wore gold, but they lived in chains. This is the dark truth of Egyptian queens. And the twisted tradition they were never allowed to escape. In the ancient palaces of Egypt, love was not a feeling. It was a strategy. Queens didn't choose who they loved. They were chosen, groomed, and often, married to their own blood. Sisters became wives. Brothers became kings, and husbands. And behind every golden throne was a story written in secrets, power, and silence. Tonight, we pull back the veil on a question few dare to ask. Were Egyptian queens forced to love their brothers? And if so, why? Welcome to Ancient Egypt Unveiled. This is the story they never wanted carved into stone. In ancient Egypt, the divine bloodline wasn't just a matter of pride. It was law. The gods, they believed, passed their power through purity of blood, and that meant keeping it in the family. Queens like Ahmose Nefertari, Tai, and even the iconic Cleopatra were born into this royal structure. And their love lives were never truly their own. Take Hatshepsut, one of the most powerful women in all of history. Before she became pharaoh, she was queen, and wife to her half-brother, Thutmose II. Did she love him? We may never know. But what's clear is this: their marriage was political, not romantic. When he died young, Hatshepsut didn't remarry. Instead, she seized the throne herself, dressed as a man, crowned as pharaoh. Her brother gave her a crown. But her power? She took that on her own. The golden boy of Egypt, Tutankhamun, was married to his sister, Incest, when both were barely teenagers. Together, they ruled. But tragedy struck when Tut died at just 19. And what did Incest do next? She wrote a letter, not to an Egyptian noble, but to a foreign king, pleading to send his son so she could marry him. "I do not wish to marry a servant," she wrote. "Never shall I choose one from among my people." A queen, born into power, begging for an outsider. Was this a cry for love, or an escape from royal chains? History never answered. Cleopatra is remembered for her romances with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. But long before that, she was forced to marry her 10-year-old brother, Ptolemy XIII, at just 18. They were co-rulers, in name. In reality, civil war erupted between them. Cleopatra fled, raised an army, and returned with Roman support. Later, she married her next younger brother, Ptolemy XIV, again, as custom demanded. 2 brothers. 2 husbands. 0 choice. Cleopatra may have mastered love on the world stage. But behind Egypt's closed palace doors, she too was trapped in a dynasty that used blood as a weapon. Why did Egypt embrace sibling marriage? Because their gods did. Isis married her brother Osiris. Set married Nephthys. These weren't just myths, they were models for rulership. Pharaohs followed divine example. They were gods on earth. And to act otherwise would be sacrilege. But what was sacred to the kingdom often became suffering for its queens. We remember these women in gold, but not in grief. We carve their names in stone, but not their silence. Were Egyptian queens forced to love their brothers? In many cases, yes. By tradition. By power. By survival. They played the roles they were given, and some rewrote the script entirely. But behind the walls of temples and palaces, their hearts beat with the same fire as any of us. This isn't just a story about royal incest. It's a story about freedom. And the women who dared to claim it in a world that denied them the right to choose who they loved. Want more stories the pharaohs tried to bury? Subscribe to Ancient Egypt Unveiled and discover queens, curses, and truths hidden beneath 4,000 years of silence. Because history isn't just what was remembered. It's what they tried hardest to forget.